Hey, how's it going? Seth here from retipster.com. Today we're going to talk about one of the best kept secrets in real estate tax savings. It's called cost segregation. Now, before we get into it, just a quick heads up. This video is sponsored by Maven Cost Segregation. These guys gave me a look at how their service works, and I think you're going to like it too. So let's jump in. If you own investment real estate, whether it's apartments or Airbnbs or commercial buildings or even self-storage, you already know that taxes can eat up a huge chunk of your profit. But what if there was a legal, IRS-approved way to front-load your depreciation and put way more money in your pocket in the early years of owning your property? Well, that's exactly what cost segregation does. Now, let's pump the brakes before we get any further, because this only makes sense if you understand what depreciation actually is. So, depreciation is a phantom expense. Why do we call it a phantom expense? Because it's not money you actually spend. Nothing comes out of your bank account, but as your property depreciates and wears out, things fall apart year after year, and this is a very real expense that you're going to pay eventually when you have to fix up your property. So the IRS lets you add a legitimate expense to your tax return each year. That's right, you can treat it like a real expense and write it off, because they know your property really is wearing down over time, even if you're not actively spending money to fix and replace those things this year. So let's say you buy a property for $500,000, and the IRS says, hey, we know buildings wear out eventually, so they'll let you gradually write off that cost over a couple of decades, even if the value is actually going up. Yeah, you heard that right. That write-off reduces your taxable income each year, which means you're going to end up paying less in taxes. It's one of those unique tax perks of owning investment real estate, where you can deduct something that didn't actually come out of your bank account. And that's why investors love it. It's like getting a coupon on your tax bill just for owning the property. Now, typically the IRS makes you depreciate residential properties over 27.5 years and commercial properties over 39 years. And that's a long time to wait for your tax benefits. But with a cost segregation study, a team of specialists can come in, take a close look at your property, and break it down into separate components. They'll figure out how much of your property's value can be categorized into things like electrical components or flooring or doors or walls or land or the roof, and even your parking lot and landscaping. Now, you might wonder, why does this even matter? Well, it's because some parts of your property can't be depreciated at all, like the land, for example, whereas some parts of your property can be depreciated over that regular 27.5 or 39 years, depending on whether it's residential or commercial. But here's the kicker. Certain parts can be depreciated much faster. Like, we're talking as fast as 5 or 7 or 15 years, but in order to do that, you need a clear understanding of which components of your property can be placed into which buckets. And this is exactly what a cost segregation study does. And if you do one of these for a property you own, you can potentially get way bigger tax deductions now instead of waiting for years into the future. This will lower your taxable income in the earlier years, giving you a boost to your cash flow instead of waiting for many more years to get it. That means more money in your pocket right now, ready to invest, instead of waiting years longer than you need to. So what's so special about Maven Cost Segregation? Why might you want to work with them? Well, there are a lot of companies out there that offer this kind of cost segregation study service, but here's what sets Maven apart. First off, they've got an in-house team of civil engineers and accountants, and they do a deep dive analyzing every component of your building down to the nuts and bolts, literally. We're talking walls, wiring, HVAC systems, driveways, you name it. Then their lead CPA, Shaun Graham, double checks every report to make sure it's not just aggressively in your favor, but also totally compliant with IRS guidelines. And that extra layer of oversight means you're not just saving money, but you're doing it safely. So what's the process like if you order a cost segregation study from Maven Cost Segregation? First off, it starts out with a free consultation, where you'll do a quick chat with them just to make sure your property is a good fit for this. Step 2 is the property review. For big properties, they'll visit it in person. For smaller properties like a single family home or an Airbnb, they'll walk you through a streamlined photo process they call a condensed engineering study. After that, they'll do an asset breakdown where they categorize every eligible component of your property into shorter depreciation lifespans. And then lastly, you'll get the final report. This is a detailed IRS compliant report that your CPA can plug right into your tax return. The good news is this is not a drawn out, complicated ordeal, and most people see the impact right away. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars in many cases. Here's a quick scenario. Let's say you buy a property for $1 million. Without cost segregation, you're depreciating maybe $36,000 of that every single year. But with Maven, they might reclassify $250,000 of that property's value into shorter-term buckets, and you could deduct most or all of that in year one. That's an instant reduction to your taxable income. Real cash saved, real fast. So you might be wondering, is there a catch? Well, there is, but it's totally avoidable, even for the average investor. If you sell a property shortly after doing a cost segregation study, some of those accelerated deductions might be subject to what's known as depreciation recapture. But here's the good news. There are smart ways to reduce or even defer that tax hit. Strategies like a 1031 exchange, Delaware statutory trust, installment sale, or even just holding the property longer term can all help you sidestep that issue. So there is a catch, but it's a manageable one if you've got a solid plan in place. Now, you might be wondering, is this just for big commercial investors? And the answer is not really. That's the crazy part. This works even for small-scale investors. Whether you own a $150,000 rental, an Airbnb, or a small self-storage facility, Maven's condensed studies make it cost-effective to get real value even from modest properties. If you've got a sizable tax bill, or if you're just trying to maximize cash flow, this is something worth looking into. So what do you think? Are you curious what this could do for your property? Maven has a super simple calculator you can use right now to find out. Just plug in a few basics about your property and it will generate a quick calculation for you. You want to check it out? You can find that calculator by clicking the link beneath this video. So what do you think? You ready to see what you can save? It's easy to find out. Click the link below to schedule a free consultation with Shaun Graham, Maven's lead CPA. He'll walk you through everything, no pressure, no commitment, just a free look at your potential tax savings. There's really no downside here. At worst, you'll get a better understanding of how your taxes work. And at best, you could save thousands this year alone. Again, check out the link below or you can scan the QR code on the screen. I hope you check it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.